Hello, it's Russ here from Porky's Corner. You've probably been watching my channel last 7.5, 8 years. I hope you're enjoying it. Today we've got something a little bit different. 2 or 3 weeks ago I put a video out mentioning about head trauma in the sport of boxing. You know, fighters are fighting till the 40s and so they're fighting longer, and a lot of them have got no defensive skills, so they're taking punches flush on. There's a lot of performance enhancing drugs in the sport of boxing at the moment, and I asked if there's anybody out there that's got a product, right, that can help boxers, you know, especially with dementia and head trauma and other things like that. And a gentleman's got in touch with me, and he's got that such product, so we're going to invite him on today, and he's going to explain it all about what it works and how you can buy it. Okay, so tune in and enjoy. Right then, Mark, you got in touch with me after seeing my video a couple of weeks ago asking if there's anybody out there got a product that can help with boxers and generally sportsmen who are coming into contact with head injuries. Away you go. Do you want to explain it to me, Mark?
Yeah, this product, it's NMN. It's the precursor to NAD, a cellular energy source that declines with age, but it stimulates stem cells and neurogenesis. So they say that 20% of boxers end up with cognitive decline and dementia after the careers, something like 14% of amateurs. Well, this stuff, it actually stops the cytokine storm. After a concussion, when your brain's taking damage, you get a cytokine storm, just like you did in COVID, that strips out the damaged cells, and that in itself causes secondary issues, if you like, that actually lead to the cognitive decline. When you take this compound, it stems the cytokine storm, stops the damage, quenches the fires, if you like, and also powers the cells to recover, and you recover a lot quicker. You also sleep a lot deeper on it. It's good for cognitive enhancement, it's good for a sharper mind, gives you more energy.
Is it good for anti-aging and stuff like that?
It's fantastic for longevity.
Yeah.
It actually, as this stuff, they actually say that the decline of NAD within your cells is the first biomarker or hallmark of aging.
Yeah.
And as that declines, so does your energy. In fact, if you look at it, a lot of boxers, you know, their careers end around 35, 40, 42, 43. You're really pushing it. And that's simply because you cannot recover as quick as you used to. This gives you your youthful energy back at a cellular level, almost rewinds you to when you were 25. And the beautiful thing is, it's completely natural.
What I've noticed lately with boxing, boxers tend to be fighting till they're a lot older, mainly because there's a lot more money at stake now. So what is a concern for me personally is the amount of performance enhancing drugs that are available. So people are getting in the ring, they've got harder punches and that. Obviously the heads are not designed to be punched in the head by the equivalent of a £30 mallet. But with these guys punching harder on performance enhancing drugs, as they get older, they tend to like mumble the words and stuff like that. Can this product help with that?
Taking it over long term, it's almost like an insurance against that. I'm not saying it's a complete cure, but I'm saying it's definitely something you want to add into your toolbox to protect yourself from dementia. That's one of the most frightening things, and as we see with the NFL, it's actually chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a new form of dementia, accelerated dementia, and you get up to 20% of boxers get that, and they just start forgetting things. And because you've got pugilistic dementia that has been around since the 1940s, you know, and it was quite extreme back then, but nowadays it's actually, they call it chronic traumatic encephalopathy, and all this research came from 2011 where they found it in the NFL players, but it happens in amateur boxers, pro boxers, rugby players, MMA, even footballers that head the ball. You get an accumulation of subconcussive impacts, and it damages the insulation on your nerve fibres called the myelin sheath, and over time that degrades, the nerve fibres short out and you actually lose those neurons. And when you lose that, that's dementia. And over the years, with constant loss of these neurons, you end up losing the ability to think, speak, and it can get, just completely debilitating.
I've noticed with some boxers that I know, and even ex-world champions, when I bump into them, they tell me same old stories over and over again, and they say, "Oh, what about this and what about that?" And I thought, well, you told me that last time. Is that that's first signs of it?
Yeah, the first signs of it, where they're repeating themselves and they're not quite there. And I've been out with ex-boxers, pro boxers, and they've dropped food down themselves without noticing. And if you look at footage of them like 15 years previous, they were really sharp characters, and they're just not that way. It's like the shine has been taken off of them.
So this dementia thing, it's not everybody suffers it. What percentage of boxers suffer from it?
The stats say that it's about 20% of pro boxers and 14% of amateur boxers.
Even though they've got the headgear on?
Especially because they've got the headgear on, because you get a full sense of security. The same with the glove.
Yeah.
You're taking that impact and you're not feeling it so much on your face, but the skull is still moving, and that movement of the skull is where your brain hits the skull. That's where the damage is done.
Yeah.
So if you've got a crash helmet on, a head guard, a glove, anything that's cushioning that impact on your face, the brain's still taking the force of that impact. And so the head guards and that lead you into a full sense of security.
Yeah. Okay. So basically it's 20% of boxers are suffering from it, professional boxers, 14% amateur. Yeah. So what's the answer to that then?
Even white collar boxers, even footballers, from subconcussive impacts, not even a knockout concussion or a serious.
Do you mean back in the day when, in the olden days, the goalkeeper would bulk the ball up in the air instead of passing it from the back, and you get these defenders that jump up and head it, and they're going to have problems, are they, in later life?
Most have some kind of level of problem. I'm not sure what the stats are on it.
On the football side,
But the same with rugby. We've got 183 rugby players suing the RFU now because obviously this Accelerate Dementia that came out in 2015 was discovered, and they knew about the head trauma and the subconcussive impacts, yet they never protected the rugby players. It turns out one of the props, Phil Vickery, who played in the 2003 World Cup where Johnny Wilkinson scored the goal, he can't even remember that game. He can't remember any of his top flight career, and the guy's about 49 now.
My concern is there's a lot of fighters, especially heavyweights, they're in the late 30s, early 40s, and they're doing these heavy sparring sessions, and then they're having a fight, but there could be like a blood clot or something laid dormant in their head, and then they could pass a medical, but that might not be picked up, and then they might fight, and then it could, a little tap on the head and it could turn into a blood clot.
That's it. It could be a ruptured blood vessel. Take up to a month to heal. And if they're not getting that healing, or they're having further subconcussive impacts, any kind of training, like, because
they're only getting a medical scan once a year. You see, they can win on points, but still have a bad edge injuries, can't, even though you've won on points, and you can still fight a couple of weeks later if you want. But if you get knocked out, you can't fight for a month. But there's something could be laid dormant in there, and I think it's quite worrying, because a lot of them are slurring the words late 30s, early 40s at the moment.
That's kind of frightening, and that is one of the hallmarks that they actually say is the start of cognitive decline.
So how would people get in touch?
It's completely reversible at that point. It's dementia. It gets to a point where it's irreversible. But there are so many signs and warning signs where you can take action.
I've looked on the thing and on your website, and it tells you everything about the links and that. Can you tell me what it does for the heart, Mark?
Well, the research is brand new and it's just coming through now. For the heart, it actually increases your little powerhouses within your cells called the mitochondria. The mitochondria are what burn your glucose and oxygen. So to upregulate them, gives you a stronger heart, a better cardiovascular system, but also your oxygen metabolism is a lot better, so it can increase your VO2 max. There's a study just come back on middle-aged runners where they increased the VO2 max by 20%, which is huge.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And of course, it mentions about anti-aging and all that and stuff like that.
As you age, you lose the pathways to synthesize NAD, and your NAD levels drop off, and that's one of the first biomarkers or hallmarks of aging. So this circumvents all the enzymatic steps from vitamin B3 right up to your cellular energy, NAD. You take NMN, it's a direct precursor. Once it enters the cell, it becomes NAD. Your NAD levels drop from when you're 21. After 30, they're dropping about 15%, and this is the hallmark of aging. The first thing you start to notice is you take longer to recover, and that's why a lot of pro athletes start to retire after 30, and by 40, most of them are thinking about hanging up the boots, gloves.
Well, I should hope so, especially if you're in sports like NFL, rugby, ice hockey, that's a dangerous sport as well, and boxing, UFC.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean?
So you not only get like a cognitive protection from it, you know, against concussions and recovery from concussions and subconcussive impacts, but you also get a better level of fitness, a better energy metabolism, and also it's the studies come back where your insulin sensitivity's improved as well.
Yeah.
So you store energy in your muscles better, you metabolise food better. The whole of your energy levels depend on your mitochondria throughout your body, and one cell can have up to 1,000 mitochondria in it. When those mitochondria die off, you lose energy. This stimulates the growth of new mitochondria called mitogenesis.
Brilliant. Okay, what about sleeping, Mark? Can you explain the sleeping aspects of it? Because apparently on this product you can sleep a bit better on it. Yeah.
Well, what I noticed myself when I upped the dose to the levels that they're using in the clinical studies was I started sleeping a lot deeper at night. I'd get the full 8 hours instead of my normal 6 hours, and I didn't used to crash in the afternoons. And that was the main thing for me. I was always using coffee to get through the days.
There you go. And what's the answer to all this? If people want to sort all the slurred speech out, and if they're worried and that, and they've got problems sleeping, what's the answer?
Well, if you go on the site, there's a full neurogenesis diet plan, which gives you omega-3s, bioflavonoids to stimulate the growth hormones of the brain, and NMN to power the cellular processes.
Brilliant.
And so it's a complete natural program that you can follow yourself. There's even recipes for smoothies and meal preps.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. So the answer is buy this product.
That's right. Well, check it out, humannutrients.com.
Humannutrients.com. Don't let me down, all you Porky followers.
Scan the QR code, it'll take you straight to the website, humannutrients.com.
So if anybody's interested in this product, there's a QR code pinned up on the link at the end of this video, and it'll take you straight to the website, humannutrients.com. Alright, peace out.
Brilliant.